Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Fight Podcast for UFC Fight Night, Kattlyn versus Giga Chikadze, and also wish you a very happy 2022. We are starting with the first fight card of this year, and there is definitely a lot to look for in this fight. Kattar versus Giga Chikadze potentially एक नंबर 1 कंटेंडर फाइट हो सकता है. एंड थोड़े दिन पहले इट वॉज डिसाइडेड कि वोल्कानोव्स्की वर्सेस हॉलोवे जो होने वाला था, विच अल्टीमेटली अनफॉर्चुनेटली गॉट कैंसल्ड बिकॉज हॉलोवे गॉट इंजर्ड विद सम रिकरिंग इंजरी. तो वहाँ पे देयर वाज अ लैक ऑफ ओपोनेंट एंड सब लोग कह रहे थे कि probably Giga Chikadze, if he wins, can get that spot. But it was decided कि Korean Zombie will get that. And Volkanovski versus Zombie is almost decided कि हो जाएगा. But definitely कुछ chances की वजह से अगर that gets cancelled if Zombie is not able to make it, तो इस fight का winner जो है he can get the title opportunity. यहाँ पे there is a reason सब लोग कह रहे थे कि Giga Chikadze might get it, क्योंकि बहुत लोग फेवर कर रहे हैं कि गीगा चिकाडजे विल विन दिस फाइट. एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज़ नॉट जस्ट हाइप हियर. गीगा चिकाडजे ने अपने रिकॉर्ड और करियर को बहुत अच्छे से मेंटेन किया अब तक. ही इफ़ आई हैव टू स्पीक अबाउट दिस रिकॉर्ड, ही हैज़ 2 losses, बट UFC में आने के बाद से आई डोंट थिंक ही हैज़ लॉस्ट एनी फाइट. एंड कंसिस्टेंटली उन्होंने अच्छा परफॉर्मेंसेस दिखाया है. ही इज़ अ वेरी टेक्निकल किक बॉक्सर. एंड उनके अगर लास्ट 2 फाइट्स हम देखें, रियली गुड विंस. एक है अगेंस्ट कप स्वॉनसन, हु इज़ अ वेरी रिकग्नाइज्ड वेटरन. उनको उन्होंने राउंड 1 में एक्चुअली ऑलमोस्ट इनिशियल किक, आई थिंक फर्स्ट किक उनका लैंड हुआ था, उसी टाइम पे ही नॉक्ड हिम आउट बाय अ बॉडी स्ट्राइक. एंड उसके बाद ही फॉट वन ऑफ द बेस्ट किकर्स इन द डिवीजन इन एडसन बारबोसा. एंड आई रिमेंबर मैंने प्रेडिक्शन में बोला था शायद बारबोसा जीतेंगे. एंड there was a risk, of course. Giga Chikadze took that risk, and somewhere Barbosa could show his good moments, but Giga was in control. That's what it looked like. And when he got his opportunity, उन्होंने उनको hurt किया, and ultimately he got a TKO victory. And it was a 5-rounder, but 3 rounds में he got that win. I think Giga Chikadze का जो rise है, it is very scary in some way. There was a call out which he did. He said कि next I want to fight Max Holloway. So clearly Giga is not looking back. He's not looking for easier fights. वो चाहते हैं कि वो best fights ले and championship के जितना पास हो सके वो चाहे. Meanwhile Kattar, of course उन्होंने भी कोई easy road नहीं लिया यहाँ पे आने के लिए. अगर मैं उनका करियर अभी तक का बोलूँ, I remember his first प्रॉपर फाइट जो मैंने देखा था वॉस अगेंस्ट जवीद मागोमेद शरीफोव, जहाँ पे ही अनफॉर्चुनेटली लॉस्ट, बट इट वॉज अ 3-round फाइट एंड 3rd राउंड ही वॉज काइंड ऑफ लुकिंग गुड. एंड सब कह रहे थे कि इफ़ इट वॉज गोइंग टू 5 rounds तो देर वॉज चांस केटर कुड हैव वन. एंड देन देर वॉज द जेरेमी स्टीफन्स फाइट विच आई थिंक इज़ हाईलाइट फॉर हिम. अब तक का उसका वन ऑफ द बेस्ट विन्स है वो. एंड ही बेसिकली राउंड 2 में जब किया, उन्होंने जेरेमी स्टीफन्स को एल्बो से नॉकआउट किया. एंड वो फाइट लाइक आई वाज रूटिंग फॉर जेरेमी स्टीफन्स एंड मुझे लग रहा था कि दिस वुड बी अ डिसेंट फाइट फॉर हिम टू गेट अ कम बैक. बट Kattar showed कि ही इज़ नो स्लाउच एंड डेफिनेटली वन ऑफ द डेंजरस पीपल इन द डिविजन. एंड देन देर इज़ अ वेरी अंडररेटेड फाइट विच हैपेंड, Danny Gay versus Kattar, which was the main event actually. And I think it was on a mid card, Wednesday card या ऐसा कुछ, which rarely happens, but उस टाइम पे हुआ था. And he outclassed Danny Gay for 5 rounds, and that's how he won his first main event. And that's what led to the fight versus Holloway. And ऐसा नहीं था कि he was a very unfair matchup or something. किसी को ऐसा नहीं लग रहा था कि Max Holloway would just wreck him before the fight. सबको ऐसा डर था कि easy that guy who will take Holloway का shine and then lead on to become one of the best. वैसा थोड़ा सा डर तो सबके अंदर था because Kattar, उसका जो टीममेट है रॉब फॉन्ट, द न्यू इंग्लैंड कार्टेल, they were rising at that time. I think थोड़ा weeks पहले रॉब फॉन्ट had beaten Marlon Moraes at that time and hype was really strong. there was a lot of feeling internally मुझे over the fight week कि there is a chance कि एक upset होएगा. Maybe Holloway after losses to Volkanovski may not be the same anymore, this that. And unfortunately for Katlyn Kattar's team, that did not happen. Max Holloway ने one of the show of a lifetime दिखाया against Katlyn Kattar. One of the most brutal beatings I think I have seen in a long time. मेरा still one of my favorite fights to revisit है for Max Holloway. But something to regarding Katlyn Kattar is he did not get finished. He endured that pain and still survived for 5 rounds. In fact मैंने ये फाइट से पहले भी बोला था कि probably knockout नहीं हो सकता, even if Holloway damages him very much, because Katlyn Kattar के over the career he has never had a knockout loss. He has never been knocked out, and that's something which is really interesting in this particular fight, because Giga Chikadze recent wins उनकी जो है he has been trying to get finishes, and Katlyn Kattar meanwhile, if he can survive initial rounds, there is a very good chance कि he can do something to Giga Chikadze later, because Giga depends on kicks, strikes, the combination of it, while Katlyn Kattar is a pure boxer, you can say. He will focus mainly on his boxing. वो उसको later rounds में जब उनका कुछ disadvantage हो, he will try to shine that up. He'll try to take control of the fight, and that's where this fight might get interesting. I want to see कि later rounds में ये fight जब जाए तो कैसे जाएगा. If Giga finishes Katlyn Kattar, then he just establishes himself कि he's a threat in a big way, because Katlyn Kattar को अब तक किसी ने finish नहीं किया है. And we have two of the greatest fighters in the division, Zabit and Holloway. If they were not able to finish, and if Giga finishes, then लोग argue करने लग जाएंगे कि Volkanovski should fight Giga Chikadze and Holloway को ignore करो until he recovers, etc. Even zombie fight होने के बाद they can say कि Giga का Holloway के साथ या Giga का Volkanovski के साथ fight होना चाहिए. He will get that new blood का advantage कि people will root for him, will want him to win, or even feel scared कि oh my god, this guy is a champion, I don't want to see Holloway fight this guy, or I don't want to see Volkanovski fight this guy. Basically he'll have that scary feeling जो होता है ना prospects के साथ. That's what he would carry around, which is a good thing for Giga Chikadze. So everyone is rooting for Giga to win. And if I have to make a prediction, it seems like Giga Chikadze is the one we should look forward to as a winner, because he is a good kickboxer. He's not just a pure boxer, and he has shown कि वो decisions भी जीत सकते हैं very consistently. He doesn't do lot of mistakes as such. So it's all dependent on how hungry Katlyn is, how well recovered he is after that Holloway loss, and let's see. It's been almost a year since Katlyn Kattar has fought. Actually almost exactly a year है. Last time Jan 16th को ही fight किया था, and अभी Jan 16 को ही fight कर रहे हैं. तो I hope कि Katlyn gets to show his best, but prediction wise I think Giga might win this. इसके अलावा we also have a few more fights which I want to mention. Chookagian versus Jennifer Maia होने वाला है. Katlyn and Jennifer Maia both have lost to Valentina Shevchenko previously. But the difference is Jennifer Maia looked very decent against Valentina. उन्होंने ग्राउंड गेम जो दिखाया था that was really at par. उन्होंने Valentina को 2-3 बार टेक डाउन भी लिया था, and there was a feeling कि oh my god, she may pull off upset. Meanwhile Katlyn lost very brutally to Valentina, but उसके बाद से she came back to win against Cynthia Calvillo. She lost to Andrade, but quickly recovered and beat Valentina's sister, who is Antonina Shevchenko. And recently भी उन्होंने विवियाने अराउजो को हराया था. She is looking decent, I can say. जो ये betting odds होते हैं उसके हिसाब से Katlyn Chookagian is a favorite. उनको लगता है कि Katlyn might win this. Of course Katlyn पहले जेनिफर को हरा चुकी हैं, which makes betting people feel कि she can do it again. But I would like to say कि Jennifer Maia has a good chance. She has shown that fighting spirit against the champ. So I want to see, or I hope to see that continue. She also beat Jessica after that very conveniently. तो मुझे लगता है कि she is more hungrier fighter over the two, and she may show her ground game, which ultimately will give her the win. So let's see that. And one more fight which I want to just Push, which is Brandon Royval versus Rogerio Bontorin, which is a very good fight at flyweight. Brandon Royval is always the unpredictable one. थोड़े लोग उसको Tony Ferguson of flyweight division बुलाते हैं. He's one of those guys जो भी ट्रेनिंग में सीखते हैं वो immediately फाइट में भी रिफ्लेक्ट होता है, एंड उसके साथ थोड़े एक्स्ट्रा चीज़ें भी ट्राई करते हैं से. ही इज़ ऑलवेज फन टू वॉच. तो मेक श्योर टू वॉच दीज फाइट्स एंड लेट्स होप कि UFC brings 2022 with a bang and the whole year is really fun to watch. इसके बाद हम मिलेंगे डायरेक्टली फॉर UFC 270 which is on 23rd of January. तब तक के लिए enjoy the fights, take care.